ESPN Radio.
Now, stand back for your own safety.
Steve, what's up?
Congrats on the win.
Thanks, Steve. Where Paulie at?
Here we go.
I'm checking out. I will respond to you, but I'm done for the week. I'm done.
Steve is my favorite part of the show. How's that?
I like that. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Check for sound.
Pleasure to be on there talking with Paulie, man. He's a good dude.
I'm an idiot. I'll just shut up and let you talk. I was trying to help.
And shout out to Tupac.
3, 2, 1, and 3.
This is Orange Nation.
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
With Steve and Paulie and Paulie Sibilia.
Check it out. Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to have you with us alongside Paulie Sibilia. I'm Stephen Fonte. It's a Friday edition of Orange Nation. We've got Jim Root, college hoops writer and podcaster for the Three-Man Weave and The Athletic. He's joining us at 12:15. John Odierna, defensive coordinator for SU men's lacrosse at 1 o'clock. Plus, we'll mix in your phone calls throughout at 315-437-7644. What's up, Paulie?
Not much. How'd you sleep last night, Steven?
I did okay. How did you do? You got to bed late.
Yeah, I was up late watching a extra inning Padres game. So.
Yeah, it ended well for you, though.
Yes, that's why I'm all decked out in my brown and yellow today for my Pods.
Good win for them.
Yes, against the hapless Rockies, whose Hunter Goodman was injured in the game and left. So your card decreased in value.
What did he do?
I don't know. He had to get an X-ray, negative X-ray though. So.
Oh, jeez.
So your $14 card.
I need him to be good.
So you can retire off of your Hunter Goodman autograph.
Just we're watching the Masters here. Yeah, Scotty's struggling so far today. As I look up and I see him miss another par putt. SU basketball. You raised the question yesterday whether or not we were concerned. Should we be concerned about where things are? And you said, no, week or two. And I tend to agree with you.
I don't know I think my timeline might have been a little long. I think it's going to be like 5. I feel like after this weekend, it's going to start happening. And
you would expect that, things are going to ramp up here, right? A few big names are off the board. And the reason we lead with this today is JP Estrella is off the board.
But I was told by sources all over the world on Twitter that he had ties.
Well, he still has ties. I mean, that doesn't mean.
But that means it was signed, sealed, and delivered.
Yeah, I don't know that anybody.
Every coach has every tie. Every coach has ties to good players because they recruited them.
Yeah.
If you were good, you were recruited by Power 4 schools.
I don't know that it means that those connections are fabricated because I don't think they are.
No, I don't think they were, but I don't think it means you're getting somebody.
Well, it doesn't mean it's a definite, of course. And I think Michigan. If it comes down between Michigan and Syracuse, Michigan's generally going to get the guy, right?
Well, yes, especially coming off a natty.
Right, exactly. So it's disappointing because I think he would have been a good fit here, but you move on to the next one, right? And I would expect that. Listen, we've seen a lot of guys, out there. Their names have been connected to Syracuse. You don't need 15 of them. You need 7 or whatever the case may be out of the portal. And I think we'll see, things start to ramp up here.
You need a big
this weekend
fish, though, right?
Yeah, you do. You do.
Are they in on any big fish?
I mean, let's see how it all shakes out. I think they're certainly in on some Power 4 guys, and they're in on some mid-majors as well. And, Jalen Cox is a name that came up a couple days ago and came up again yesterday. And
his portal ranking is worse than Nate George's.
There's a list of schools that are after him. Syracuse is out, at least that have interest in him and who have contacted him. Syracuse on that list among Indiana, Kentucky, Villanova, Cincinnati, among others. We've seen him play the last several years. He's a good, solid player. I'm interested to see if they end up signing him, how that plays with the fan base, right?
It's not going to play.
It's not going to play well. You wouldn't think.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean he can't play.
No.
Because he can play, and we've seen him.
We got the Colgate guy.
Right. Exactly. And, on the heels of Jaquan Carlos, it's, and if all you've signed to that point is Siena players and, a kid from overseas, it
won't matter that apparently Kentucky, UCLA,
right.
And other schools, Villanova, have reached out to him.
Yeah. So we'll see. if he didn't go to Colgate, but he went to, another mid-major in a different part of the country, would it play better than the fact that it's just down the road in Colgate? I don't know. My guess is probably yes, but he's a solid player, and we'll see what happens with him. I'm with you in that, it's not time to panic by any means. The portal is 3-4 days old. But if, this time next week, if they still don't have a big fish on the roster, then I think, maybe it's time to get concerned.
I feel like if you're going big fish, which they did last year, it's got to be point guard, right?
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how this plays.
I mean, that's the most glaring need right now. You need a point guard and you need a big guy.
Center, yeah.
Those are the two most glaring of needs. And the centers cost a lot. Like, we saw Jeff Goodman's report about what what a high profile player is going at each position. And, centers, there's not a lot of them out there. I used the analogy of a fantasy football draft the other day. It's kind of like the tight end position, right? There's like 3 of them that you want that are high end. And if you don't get one of those 3, you feel like you've been left out and you might as well wait on a center or wait, in that case, wait on a tight end. Yeah, I mean, you're going to pay a lot for a good quality center. They didn't get Estrella, and they'll move on to the next.
The other question is, do you go like you get a Jalen Cox and another kid who's at the similar level? Like maybe you can get two of
for the price of one
kids, and you have them battle it out, or you do the same with the center. Is that a possibility, or do you do what Miami did last year? You spend all your money on 3 players, and then hope your bench, what isn't great, can get you to the tournament.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that they have a solid core right now. They need some.
What's solid?
Top end.
Doty's probably done the most out of everybody. What's their solid core? Like, what are you basing that on?
Well, I'm saying in terms of the role players around, like you need to go in and you need to, I think there's no doubt you need to land a dynamic point guard, right?
Yeah.
You need to have a couple stars that you get out of the portal, and then you supplement them with the talent that you have on the roster at this point. Doty, Cayenne, Sadiq, this kid that they got from Slovenia, like you're able to supplement. I think those are solid pieces. That's the solid core I'm talking about. Now you got to add some star power to it, right? Yeah. And hopefully you can do that in the portal, and that's got to be I'm sure that's their goal right now is they want to add some star power. And I think if they could do that, you're going to see that probably in the next week or so.
And I'm sure there's visits coming this weekend. And
you would think,
we'll all, this is my new term, we'll all find out together. It makes us, I don't know what is the good way of going about this. I really don't. I'm new to this. You're new to this. Like, I don't know what the right answer is in building a team in 2026. Doty is probably a good get. A lot of schools would have taken him, top 100 in the portal.
Yeah, I mean, there's only, we were talking about this before the show. There are only 7 guys out of the top 100 in the portal that have committed, and he's one of them. And we know why it was no brainer that he was coming here. But a lot of the top guys have not committed yet.
They lost the 12th best, and they've added the 64 best. So it's, you've got to make up for what you're losing to the portal also.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you wonder where Sadiq would have fallen on that list, or Cayenne would have fallen on that list, as well, had they entered. So you got those 2 pieces coming back. The kid from Slovenia, again, if you believe Jonathan Gavoni, says, he's a guy that would have been, maybe potentially a McDonald's All-American if he had played over here. He believes he's that good. So hard to know because we haven't seen him play, but he's been going up against pros. He's 19. He's got some, positional size that Jerry talks about that he wants. So, all of those are good things. And you got to go in the portal and you got to make a splash with a signing or 2. And that's the goal now over the course of the next week or so.
Yep. And I tend to think they'll get it right. I don't have anything to base that on, but
you have to base it on the fact that they have better resources this year, right? And they've certainly got a plan. They know what their needs are, and you can target those needs in the portal.
They do have better resources. I just think everybody else has got better resources too, and that's a problem. That Syracuse is going to still have to catch up. I have a bad feeling about that. When you see the prices that people are saying now in Syracuse, where you're hearing Syracuse is at, this is a problem It's not just for Syracuse. It's for a lot of schools Syracuse's size.
So you think top 6 is not happening in the ACC?
I think it's. You think they're going to outspend? They're going to outspend Virginia, Miami. Looks like Clemson's in on some big dudes this year. So it's going to be tough to do.
It is going to be tough to do. I agree with you on that. We do have to take a timeout. We've got our first guest coming up on the other side. That was our opening drive, brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. Jim Root, college hoops writer, joins us on the other side. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Point Guard Advisors, a company built to assist your every move on the court of business. I'm joined by owner Jim Ash today. Jim, what does a Point Guard employee offer the greater Central New York market?
Point Guard Advisors people have the
everybody's like,
experience
another
and
Seattle
ability
player,
to
but now that
recognize
he
the
might go
financial
somewhere else,
needs of
everybody's like, I can't believe we're not getting him.
Fits those needs. Do our best to bring in the proper person from one of our companies or from one of our network of partner businesses that offer that particular expertise.
And Jim, how does having the right CPA and accountant impact a business's plans?
Since I also operate, I highly emphasize the importance of having a high-quality CPA on your professional team. CPAs operate as trusted advisors. They help businesses run an efficient business process that maximizes cash flow and at the same time properly rewarding employees for their great work.
Point Guard Advisors, a company that can assist and always help your business score. Get the conversation started today at 370-9965 or visit pointguardadvisors.com.
The DV Used Car Mega Sale has been extended through April. Spring clearance pricing on over 500 pre-owned in one location. The Used Car and Truck Mega Sale at the warehouse.
I shut it off. Son of a gun. I thought I hit it. I must not be strong enough to push the button. Why do we talk like this in the Masters update? Steve, what's your shirt made of? Are you worried of the microfibers affecting your body? That's a good question. Silk?
I don't know. What do you think?
Silk, polyfibers. I don't know. Seersucker. It says seersucker, but I don't wear my seersucker.
It's like that. It's that breathable material.
Speaking of retiring shirts, I retired. The only shirt I've ever retired was my seersucker shirt because everybody said I look like an old man in it. Does your wife screen your shirts for toxins? If you were GM, will you guys stop worrying about our health? Like, yeah, I drink diet. Steve wears horrible shirts, horribly ugly shirts. Bring back the curtain. How are you saying Syracuse is a laughable program when they haven't even done anything yet? Can you at least wait till the final product set? We were just also discussing, I think if you blindly put a player name on Nate George right now, if you put like Nate George's stats on like a fake player and said he had narrowed his choices down to Syracuse and how about Miami? People would be clamoring to get him back. Same with like
but stats aren't everything though.
No, I know, but that's all that we really that's all you know unless you watch a ton of games every day. Also, what's his name? Like Donnie Freeman. Like the fact that people were saying good riddance to Donnie Freeman. He said, if Syracuse got the 12th best player in the portal, we'd be doing goddamn jumping jacks. But we want him good riddance. artist of the day is playing.
Really?
But there's no audio coming out of it. Oh.
You know I'm coming over, right?
I don't know why people mess with our board, but this song was number 7 in 1998.
On this day,
On this day. On April 10th, 1998, the number 7 song, Nice and Slow by Usher. I hit the post on accident.
It was perfect. Well done. But it was, completely accidental. All right, let's bring on our first guest today, as we're pleased to be joined by Jim Root, college hoops writer for The Athletic, host of the Three Man Weave podcast. Jim, great to have you on. Let's just start you off by getting your overall reaction from the coaching change here at Syracuse. Adrian Autry out, now an assistant coach at Virginia. In comes Jerry McNamara. What do you make of the move for Syracuse?
I think it's probably going to be a net positive. I was a little surprised that it ended up staying in family, just because I think when Autry was on his way out, there was sort of that exhaustion within the fan base and maybe the administration or whatever of let's move on, let's turn a new page, let's be in a new place, because obviously the Autry kind of designated hire from Boeheim didn't work out. But then you kind of end up in this situation where Jerry McNamara is doing so well, and he has this great performance on national TV in the NCAA tournament. He's a guy is going to want to stick around at Syracuse. If push comes to shove, he's not going to take a lateral move or go somewhere else. He's young. You get this added bonus of keeping Kai and Anthony around. Perhaps that's something that moves the needle just a little bit. I think all things considered, it's a very good move, and it's somebody that at least has shown the coaching chops as a head coach at this stage in his career, and was able to compete with ACC teams, including Duke this season.
So along those lines of, you said he's shown the chops for coaching. When you look at how Siena played the last couple of years, what stands out to you about Jerry and his coaching style and how his teams played for him?
I thought he was able to do some different things, like play different styles. And I think that's honestly one of the biggest things I look at in a coach is, can you be flexible? Can you win in different ways or with different players? And perhaps the most impressive thing was, going through the MAC tournament this year and competing with Duke with basically 5 guys. They lost people to injury. Tasman Goodrick was supposed to be a big piece. And it sounds like he's coming to Syracuse. I believe that's official now. Gavin Doty in there, but then Antonio Chandler, a really key piece for their defense and efficient finisher. He gets ruled ineligible late in the season, and Syracuse is able to adapt. They input the big man Mulvey from Iowa into the lineup. They get a little bit more shot blocking, a little bit more size. So that adaptation is big. And he played at different paces, especially on the defensive end. They were, they kind of sped teams up in his first season, and this year they were a little bit more slowed down. He does know the zone. He can mix that in. I think that flexibility is huge. I just, in this day and age, especially with the way teams change, you're going to have new players every single season. It does behoove you to be able to tailor your team and your approach to the roster you end up with, rather than it's not as intentional of like, all right, I've been recruiting these guys for 2 years, freshmen coming in, I'm developing them to play my system. I think having that flexibility is massive. And it seems like a lot of the younger guard coaches know that, and Jerry McNamara seems to fit that as well.
Syracuse fans seem to have mixed feelings, I guess, about Donnie Freeman leaving. What do you make of his game, and what is his ceiling? How good do you think he could be next year, and whatever his next stop is?
Yeah, he's super talented. Looking at him, I wrote up a little mini scouting report for him going into the portal at The Athletic, and it's, the motor. I think that's probably maybe the biggest reason fans are like a little exhausted by him, and you don't know what you're going to get. I know there was whispers that maybe he was healthy for some of the games that he sat out this past season. I cannot confirm nor deny those factors, but that would certainly get under a fan's skin. But man, the talent is crazy. He does seem to fall in love with his jumper a little bit too much, and looking at some of the stats against higher level competition, that really exacerbated. He would never get to the free throw line against some of Syracuse's best opponents. And that was one of the strengths of his game, was using that mobility as a forward to put the ball on the deck and draw some contact. Didn't seem to have maybe that same kind of motivation or ability, I guess, against the top defenders. I think because of the potential, if he ends up in the right situation, he could blossom, and it could be one of those where Syracuse fans like, man, we had that guy in our system. I wish we could get a Donnie Freeman type. And like, no, we had Donnie Freeman at one point, but you don't know if he's going to be maximized playing at Syracuse. If he didn't want to be playing under McNamara, then perhaps it wouldn't have been the right fit. I don't think Autry was the right guy to maximize his potential. Some of the names, I work for Chili Donovan's Basket Under Review Discord, and he's mentioned a couple of the schools that are looking at Freeman, and there's some pretty high-level programs that want to get their hands on him. I think that's because they view him as a little bit moldable clay still right now. There's a lot of potential, a lot of upside, and if they get him in the right system, they can get him motivated and locked in every single day, then, yeah, the ceiling is there to be an NBA player.
When it comes to NIL, is Syracuse capable of getting a kid like Donnie Freeman out of the portal?
I think so. I don't know exactly what the NIL situation is. That's one of the toughest things with evaluating coaches, evaluating rosters, figuring out who they're going to get in the portal, because it is so nebulous and a little bit shrouded in mystery, hidden. We don't know what every team's exact budget is. You do get some of the beat reporters that come out like, Kentucky's $22 million was a big deal last year. I think UNC was around $15 million or something like that. And from everything I hear this offseason, it's all continued to rise, both budgets and player costs. The rising tide lifts all boats there. And it does seem like just more money continues to be invested, which shocks me. I thought at some point we'd hit a little bit of a critical mass and it would maybe come on the decline, and a lot of the really rich donors wouldn't want to contribute the same amount of money. But yeah, I think you sometimes have to work backwards and see what talent the rosters ended up having and whether that team has that much money. And I thought Syracuse did okay in the portal last year. They kept Freeman around, who's going to be in demand. They brought in Nate Kings, Nathan George, William Kyle, some guys that probably should have gotten decent paydays. So I think there is money in the coffers for Syracuse. I'm not going to put them up on like the Duke level or North Carolina level, but upper high end, mid to high ACC money. I think they should be able to get some big names, and maybe you find some kid who grew up watching Jerry McNamara win a national title. I guess maybe that's even before their times at this point. Now that I think about it, which ages me quite a bit. But yeah, I think there's a chance for them, and bringing that brand back and re-elevating Syracuse to one of the top ACC programs is well within reach.
Yeah, my daughter was born 3 weeks after the national championship, and she's, she's 23.
Entering the workforce. Oh, God.
Yeah, exactly. So, talk about feeling old. You talk about the NIL and what it's going to take to compete. Syracuse in particular is looking for a point guard in the portal and looking for a quality big man in the portal, which, neither one of those positions are cheap. Can you give us a sense of how much a quality point guard is going for these days, how much a quality center is going for these days, and if you had to prioritize between the two, if you're Syracuse, which one do you prioritize?
Yeah, the center market, I think, is the one that's truly exploding. It's probably because of the success of some of the teams at the top level. Florida last year with their deep front court, Michigan this year with all their size, Arizona, Duke, really, really big front courts, teams that have emphasized dominating the paint. I've seen for the very, very top end, somebody like Floyd Badunga, I saw $5 million thrown around for like true starting caliber Power 5 centers. $3 million seems to be the get in ask price and figure out if you're going to have the right fit or not. It's a pricey market. Sometimes you have to overpay to get a guy into your fold too. I think point guard's a little less insane. I haven't seen more specific numbers in that regard. Like Jackson Shellstad from Oregon's one of the top guys out there that, big programs are competing for him. I guess it's a little less than big men. The area that's kind of the overloaded part of the market is like the scoring combo guards and mid-major guys that can get buckets, but we don't know if they'll translate. That seems to be I won't call it a market inefficiency because there's so many out there, but those are the ones you can find cheaper and you really cannot overpay for because you need to save your budget. You need to save your bullets for those point guards, the centers especially. It does seem like if you don't have $3 million to go for a center, you're going to have to try to find one on the cheap and hunt, the bargain bin, which I am a Missouri grad. We've been hunting the bargain bin for big men for seasons and it has not worked out. So I would probably emphasize that if you can pull together the funds, having a really strong big who can protect the rim, can run, has a little bit of mobility to him, has proven pretty crucial in the last couple postseasons. So I think that's one of the biggest points of emphasis for probably every team this offseason.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, we were just discussing this on air, was how do you go about building a roster? And we don't know what Syracuse's NIL is. Is it better to go out and spend on the cheap and get 2 guys that can potentially make them battle it out? Or do you think it's more important to go get a big name at the point guard and center position?
I think I'd probably lean towards it's just like a fantasy football, fantasy baseball, like stars and scrubs approach, where, you dish in all your auction money for the top levels. And part of why I say that is because Jerry McNamara has shown he can win with a shorter rotation, and he did it late in the season. It plays a little bit slower. He brings that style. You don't need the wear you down depth of, say, somebody like Michigan that was like too deep at every spot. Even after LJ Cason went down, they had some great depth. I don't think you need that necessarily at every spot, especially if you can play a little slower, mix in some of the zone looks, and keep guys a little bit fresher. Zone also helps you avoid foul trouble, which I think is massively important. I'm not saying Syracuse is going to be like 100% zone with McNamara, not the same way it was under Boeheim, but I do think being able to have that wrinkle is important. So yeah, I just try to get the best players you can. And if you can fill in on the margins, that's when you really get your analytics guys to try to dive in and find specific role players who can we dig out a shooter from the Metro Atlantic Conference? Can we find a wing defender who maybe can't shoot from the Mid-American? Like somebody we can bring up to Syracuse that is nearby, would maybe want to play for the Orange and can just fill a specific role for somewhat cheaper. Because I think going to get a star or a couple, if you can, at point guard and center would make a whole lot of sense.
Jim, what do you make of the pieces that they have in place right now? Kyan Anthony, as you mentioned, is back. Gavin Doty transferred in from Siena. Sadiq White is back. They picked up Mark Morano, 19-year-old from Slovenia. We don't know much about him other than he's a scorer. Tasman Goodrick came over from Siena. So those are really the 5 that we know of for sure on the roster. What do you make of those pieces?
Yeah, a lot of skill there. I think White is a ton of upside. Anthony's a ton of upside. It didn't really necessarily work last year with Anthony, but I think the talent's there. Some people I respected quite a bit were high on him coming into Syracuse, and maybe just the fit with George and Starling, and he wasn't really able to get into his preferred role. That didn't work out that well. I think Doty is a legit ACC player. The tenacity, the physicality he brings on the wing to go with some of his scoring package, and he's pretty good in transition on the few opportunities, a team that didn't run that much, but when he's out, he knows how to finish. He knows how to get to the rim. I think the pieces kind of fit together well. Goodrick is maybe the wild card for me, like a super productive guy before last year. And then coming into the season, I think was expected to be a starter at Siena, maybe a focal point of the offensive side. And then he goes down with the injury early in the year. Still a lot of talent there, though. And if you can blend those pieces together, and as you said, fill in the bookends of the lineup with the point guard in the center, it seems like they've got some real talent 2 through 4, and that makes a lot of sense. The build so far, and there's a lot of blank spaces to fill, but you got to trust the new coach to make that happen.
A couple big picture items here. Tourney expansion. What are your thoughts on that? You have a strong feeling either way?
Yeah, I think it's going to happen, and I'm kind of begrudgingly beaten down by all the inevitability feeling of it. I don't want it. I really don't prefer it. I think it's going to be kind of messy if we go to 76 and there's 12 games that are undecided on your bracket as you're filling it out on Sunday night or Tuesday morning, whenever. You got to wait for Tuesday night and Wednesday night to have a lot of those slots filled in. I think that's going to be a little bit of a messy and maybe turn some people off. Maybe it makes Tuesday night and Wednesday night a lot of fun. I don't know. I think right now it's kind of cool to have those standalone games where the 16 seeds get a little featured and we get super excited to watch Alabama State until we forget about them and they're getting killed 2 days later. But it could spice it up. I wish we could keep it a little more pure. 68 is not 64, but it's at least close to it. But I'm kind of just resigned to the fact that it's going to happen at this point.
And then the last one I've got for you is the 5-for-5 rule, the 5 years to complete 5 seasons of eligibility. Do you like that?
I think I do. I kind of like having 4 years of eligibility, and the 5 will be a weird transition where you get double up on classes where you get new freshmen coming in and these guys that get to stay 5, so that there's always going to be a transition period of instituting a rule like that. The one thing I love about it, though, is if we can get to a hard and fast rule where it's not a bunch of waivers and lawsuits every single offseason. I maintain a roster document every single offseason trying to keep every team, all 365, up to date. And there's so many guys I'm like, is he going to get a waiver? Is this guy going to get is the JUCO rule going to pass again where a guy gets an extra bonus year? If we can get it instituted where it is pretty black and white, everybody knows before the season's over whether a guy's going to be eligible or not the next year, I'm on board. So if it's 5 to play 5 and a guy only ends up getting 4, at least you knew coming in that was the rule. The question is, if they institute it, can they defend it in court and hold it up against lawsuits that are going to try to pick it apart? I don't know, but I'm okay with 5 years of eligibility if it means that we get like a stern rule that we can all keep consistent year to year.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Jim, great insight. We appreciate all the time you gave us today. Thanks so much, and hopefully we can have you on again down the road as we kind of work our way through all of this.
Yeah, sounds good. It's going to be a lot happening over the next couple of weeks with the transfer portal. So yeah, I appreciate you having me.
All right, Jim Root joining us here on the show. With that, we'll take a time out. Phone lines open the rest of hour number 1, 315-437-7644. John Odierna, the defensive coordinator for the SU men's lacrosse team, joins us at 1 o'clock. Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Syracuse is going to have a tough time getting a recruit over Michigan. The hope is that under Jerry McNamara in year 2, year 3, year 4, as they build this thing back up and it becomes a more attractive destination, it comes down a lot to money, and we don't know the exact numbers. No one knows the exact numbers of what Syracuse is working with. Drive time with Tim Leonard, 5 to 6 on ESPN Syracuse.
Cuse Sports Hour, Justin Cuse out on the Mingos. What if I told you they were never in on the Mingos? Yeah, they were never in on them. Yeah, they're out on both of them. They were not in on them. You're correct on something that everybody's not, like, I knew that since 3 days ago. Yeah, it was a good game. I was not expecting a grand slam in that situation. What's on tap for the Infantres this weekend? The chat would like to know.
Oh, man. I don't know. My dad's home from Florida, so I'm sure that I will see him. I don't know. What's the weather supposed to be like? It's supposed to be
great.
Nice. Oh.
Today's the best day. I am a little disappointed. I was just thinking I can't grill anymore.
Do you have access? Do you have roof access? No.
Just to yours.
Just to my roof?
Yeah. I'm going to be grilling on your roof this summer. That's okay with you. Bread chopping?
No, I think I think I'm good in the bread department. I don't think I need to shop for bread. The biggest thing I have to do from not that I'm going to work all weekend, but I do have to finish the draft show. So we taped it on Wednesday. We're doing that NFL draft preview show again, so we got to get it done for all the affiliates by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, I might go to Nichols. I'm down to my last pork chop. That's where I get my pork chops, Steve.
Yes. The butcher.
No, from Nichols.
I know, but the butcher at Nichols.
Well, there's a butcher at every grocery store. It's just not a butcher shop. Why are you fighting with me?
I'm not. You seem in a bad mood today. What's wrong?
I'm not in a bad mood. You're in a bad mood. Don't come at me with your... Don't project on me, you gaslighter. Do I seem like normally The chat tells me I'm in a bad mood.
I don't know. You seem. I don't know. You seem like you're. in a bad mood. I don't know how to describe it. You seem like not yourself, not your normal jovial self.
Steve just accused me of normally being jovial. I tend to think the chat would disagree with that.
I don't know. Like you like to have fun. You like to joke around. You I don't know. You seem very serious today.
Yeah, I seem better today than yesterday. I thought today I'm in a good mood today.
You are? All right.
I've never been accused of being jovial. That's true.
Accused. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, do you even know me?
Yeah, you're normally like you crack jokes and you normally like crack jokes and like, but you seem like very serious today.
I'm turning into a reporter. I had to do research today. It's April 10th, 1998, Steve, at number 6 on the Billboard charts. Savage Garden, Truly, Madly, Deeply. I did it again.
Hit the post.
Songs going out, long distance dedication request to Spatch and the Wheeze. There you go. I think I might do this every day next week.
I love it.
It's not even there yet.
Oh, okay.
You wanted this, Steve.
I wanted what?
You wanted the call screener to be up there. Don't look at me and point when it's not ready for you.
I like that it's bigger letters, but it's hard. It's still harder to see. Scooter in Janesville up next on the show. Scooter, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Listen to that Paulie. Great overnight Thursday morning, man, on Sunny 102. It was about as powerful as you got. You had everybody, who's who, and you even had Seeger and Journey in the 6 a.m. block, so way to go.
Go to bed.
No. It's fun. You even got Wild Cherry and the Romantics in your system now, so it's real good. Steve, you were talking to a caller about swimming with the dolphins. A little back.
We had a caller say he brought his infant to go swim with the dolphins.
Oh yes, right, correct.
Well, I thought, Steve, you might want to try swimming with the turtles first with your back and your neck. I don't think you want to keep up with the dolphins. Right?
His favorite zoo animal is a turtle. You can go to Petco and see those.
You're probably aware I didn't get the second call for Syracuse's GM, so it's out there. Is Hopkins still viable? I mean, are they just waiting for the NBA season to end, or is his name now been taken out just for the GM now?
I don't even know if it was in, and I don't even know if it's out. So it's like I haven't heard any.
I'll be honest with you, Scooter. The thought occurred to me that maybe it had something to do with the NBA schedule, kind of like what you saw with Billy Donovan. But I don't know. I don't know. I still think I personally think he would be a good fit for the position, but I don't know if he's a viable option or not.
Isn't it amazing? Just a couple of years ago, the centers were almost like dinosaurs in college and definitely in the NBA. And now all of a sudden, college is the biggest money is now the big guys again. I mean, it's incredible the turnaround just in 3 years where everybody wanted 3-point shooters, and now all of a sudden the centers are the biggest thing on the market.
Yeah. No, it's true. And some of it, too, is the way the game is played now. And if you got a center who can shoot and who's got size, that's very valuable, obviously, in present-day college basketball and the NBA, for that matter.
No, it's just amazing. I don't know if the NBA is going to go back to it. But it's just when you were talking to your guest, it's amazing. And then the point guard is the second one. Paulie, I still think that guy from Highcliffe is out there. If he's out there, that point guard, Martin, I think his name is. If he's out there, man, keep an eye on him.
I will. I'll be scouting. I've been sitting up all night watching tape of players from weird conferences.
Well, that's what's probably going to end up in Syracuse.
Today I will be. Today's Big Sky Day at my house. I've got
Montana.
I've got all my TV set up, and I'll be breaking down Big Sky tape for the transfer portal breakdown on Monday.
Hey, Have a nice weekend, guys.
See you, Scooter. Have a good weekend. Big Sky Day.
You know, Steve, new segment here on Orange Nation while we got a second.
Okay. What do you got?
Yankees update brought to us by our friends at the Wildcat, Dan and Camillus. Yankees have dropped 2 straight. Uh-oh, fire somebody. Fire Boone, right? Is that what they say out there? They're 8-4 now. They lost to the Athletics yesterday.
A's are better than...
they're a very good young team. Let's not gaslight people that they're a good team.
I said they're better than you would expect. Like, that's...
Yeah.
Do you disagree with that?
And I don't know yet.
They were awful last year.
We're a couple games into the season. They'll probably...
I mean, their offense is scary.
The Rockies are a game...
Okay.
Under 500.
You can't just agree. See, this is what I mean. You don't seem like you're in a good mood today. Like, what was controversial about me saying the A's are better than you would think?
We don't know. There's too small of a sample size.
Okay. Carry on.
I think you're in the bad mood today. We're hosting a sports talk show. Am I supposed to just agree with you? Oh, well, Steve, you're right.
I don't think you had to come at me about saying
I don't think I came at you. You're soft.
You're like, well, hang on here a second. Okay.
You're being soft today.
All right.
I think you should get in the portal. Good riddance. Can we make
Can I go?
Is Steve being soft because I said let's hold off on crowning the freaking A's is better?
There was no crowning. I said they're better than you would expect. That's what I said. I didn't say I wasn't crowning them. There was no crowning.
I'm sure Dan's really excited to be part of this every day.
He knows what he's getting in for when he does anything with this show. He knows how it goes.
The Yankees were almost no hit yesterday.
They were.
I'm in a bad mood. I'm in a great mood today. My Padres walked it off on a grand slam last night. Steve is trying to tell me that the A's are better than we expected 12 games into the season. Steve calling Paulie soft is the biggest example of narcissism I've ever seen. Thanks.
I think you got it backwards there. Paulie, I didn't call you soft. You called me soft.
I said Paulie calling Steve soft.
I thought you said Steve calling Paulie soft.
I was coming from a former worker here. The great foot of Mikey P.
Yankees, they're 8-4 now.
I'm jovial right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Like normal?
Yeah.
All is well with Paulie?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. We don't have to agree that the A's are good. Okay, you have your take on the A's. I have mine. It added a little flair to the show.
Sure.
That's
that was
part
great.
of doing a sports radio show.
Yep. Okay.
I'm not ready to say that the A's are better this year than they were last year. They've got a lot of good young players, though.
They do. And they are just the Athletics this year, by the way. So we Mario Sacco and we came to the dilemma this past week because the Yankees played the A's, and on our bottom line, like our scoreboard comes on at the end, like we show highlights, and then the score pops up, and you have to type in. We normally put New York Yankees, like the full name of who they're playing. And Mario goes, "What do you want me to put for this?" Because they're just Athletics right now. I was like, I don't know, just put Athletics. So they're just the Athletics for now.
Bro, you literally pee your pants when you're challenged. Yep, I do. I'm doing it right now. I go through at least 6 pairs of pants every show, right, Steve?
At least. Let's see. I'm looking at what their record was last year.
Yeah, it's early in the season.
No, I know it is. I just for my own edification. I'm just okay.
Quit edifying yourself in public.
10 games below 500 last year. I think they might be better than that this year.
All right.
That's all. All right, let's hit a timeout. We will check in on the market. We'll wrap up hour number 1. We'll stay on time. We've got John Odierna coming up, defensive coordinator for SU men's lacrosse. We'll talk with him at 1 o'clock. We'll mix in your phone calls the rest of the way. Anything else you want to add?
Self-deprecation doesn't take away from the fact you're a hypocrite. Man, that Gaper guy hates me. Steve, you're right. I am a hypocrite. I have been saying all year long how great the A's are.
All year.
Yes.
I just didn't think it was a comment from me that needed to be challenged. That's all. But you can challenge it.
When I'm accidentally misspeak, I need to be challenged every time.
That's fair. I just like making.
I'm a baseball guy.
I like making fun of you.
No, but I'm a baseball guy.
I know.
I took offense to your hot take that the A's were
better than you would expect. Okay. Sorry that I offended you.
And you're just a Yankees fan who's trying to cope with the fact that they couldn't beat the A's last night.
Yeah. Got to get some hits in order to win games. All right, we'll take a time out here. We'll wrap up hour number 1 next on ESPN Radio.
Look at that. We just turned that into a segment. We're going to fight about the Yankees every day. If they beat the Yankees tomorrow, I'm going to be like, A's are better than they looked, though. You know? What tickets?
Yeah, tickets. We got tickets here.
Ryan Mullen, what tickets? What did we give you? Message me and explain to me what you're talking about. I can't follow this chat. Sacramento. Oh, no, I have no idea because the wrestling guy did that. Let me see if we have any in-house. Paul, are you watching this? Do we have any wrestling tickets in-house? As someone from La Jolla, not sure why Weirdo is a Padres fan. My dad lives in La Jolla. And I grew up in San Diego. Weirdo. They have a bunch of unproven bats, guys. Let's settle down. Are we really breaking down the A's right now? IPC Nick Kurtz right now. He's a very good player.
I'm sorry I said anything.
No, it's all right. I'm sorry.
No, it's on me. It's on me. No.
My bad.
It's on me for bringing up the A's. Yeah, Sport Boy, that I didn't see the first one, but that Michigan-Denver game, it was on when I got home last night, and I got invested. I watched the end of the third period. I watched both overtimes. Michigan dominated and just couldn't score. And then Denver scored to win it.
No, he actually, I'll take it back. He moved to there when they got divorced, and now he lives on a golf course in Vista. But he also bounces. My dad's got a place in Idaho for the summer, and he lives in California.
Idaho?
On a lake.
That sounds cool.
On a lake in Idaho.
See, that's why I want to go to Montana. It's the same idea. I bet it's just gorgeous out there. Idaho and Montana are nicer than you would expect.
Wyoming's up there, too.
I bet.
South Dakota, places I'd like to go.
Yeah.
Oh, if I could win the lottery and move to South Dakota and never talk to Gaper again. Sweet Jesus. Sweet, sweet Jesus. Steve Potatoes, Idaho. That's a good, funny joke.
That is funny. Who said
Jordan.
that? Good one, Jordan. Kevin, I've always wanted to go to Montana. When people say, where do you want to travel? My two places are Italy, I've never been, and Montana.
Do you know where I want to go, Steve?
What?
That place in America where you can stand in 4 states.
I've already been there.
Am I being jovial this commercial break, Steve?
Yes, you are.
Am I fitting more of
See, you're coming alive now. I feel better now. I don't
things
know. Felt off when the show started.
Maybe if you showed up a little earlier, it wouldn't have been so weird. I love the Padres announcers. I don't like Bogey goes boom when he hits a home run. I don't know why I don't like that.
So Super Cat, my grandparents are from Italy, so I would love to go see where they grew up in northern Italy, and I would love to go back and see where the family's from.
Gaber, that sounds like you're inside of your head also. Oh, no hitter over. Not even close. Okay, I got to find. This is too much work. I've put too much work in my.
It was a great idea yesterday, but too much work.
Yeah, this is. What the hell is going on? Did you miss Drive Time?
I did.
Number 5 on the Billboard charts, 1998. Casey Kasem never had this kind of trouble. My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion.
The difference was Casey Kasem's show was recorded, so when mistakes happen,
we'll do it live.
Exactly. There were mistakes. They just, unless someone leaked them, we didn't hear about them.
Thank you for defending me, Steve.
Nobody's perfect, Paulie. And you're right.
I'm not embarrassed. You know how we did embarrassing songs? I'm not embarrassed that I like this song.
Got to get to the chorus, though. Now, so I don't know if you want to fast forward. Or
now, I would not open my window and blast this one, but I wouldn't turn it off either.
Yeah.
I fell for the feet.
There we go.
Hopefully, the markets aren't sinking, Steve.
Let's go to our good friend Lee from Lee Baldwin Company.
I do not know if I'm in sync with that, but and stocks are actually leaking down a little bit today, breaking a week-long win streak. But the Nasdaq is kind of holding its own. It's up just barely. Our diamond, though, is crowd infrastructure company CoreWeave, which is up 11%. That's on a deal with Anthropic. And our dog is Avis. You'll love the symbol, CAR. Is down 8%, but they are trying harder, guys, because the stock has doubled this year so far. So have a great weekend.
All right, you as well. Enjoy the weather. Beautiful day out today. Hopefully you can get out a little bit early. Lee, thanks for coming on.
And crank it up again.
All right. All the diamonds, none of the dogs. Be sure to visit LeeBaldwin.com.
Steve, did you see this yesterday? I know you didn't, but let's pretend we haven't had this discussion yet. All right, let's pretend this never happened. CNN yesterday on all of its social platforms reported that Michael J. Fox had passed away.
I did not see that.
It is bonkers to do something like that and be wrong. They published packages of his life on many platforms, and they send their apologies to Michael J. Fox, friends and family.
So is he... Is he very, very ill?
He's alive.
I know he's been dealing with Parkinson's for a long time.
Michael is, according to his representatives, Michael's doing great.
Oh, yeah. He responded, and he was
on stage and doing interviews yesterday.
He was not happy.
Yeah.
Man, how do you make that mistake?
I don't know.
Package was published in error, says a CNN spokesperson. Yeah. We removed it from our platforms and sent our apologies. Man, that's, I guess that's one of those, a lot of times with famous people, you have those pieces ready to go for whenever it happens, well in advance.
Because he's sick. You've got that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well in advance. But how that mistake was made that it actually aired, that is unacceptable, really. Inexcusable. I'm sure somebody got fired over that.
Let us... Leadus Productions in YouTube says, Paulie likes My Heart Will Go On. Weirdo! Exclamation point.
Love Michael J. Fox, by the way.
Yeah, me too.
One of my favorites.
Back to the Future.
Family Ties. That's where we first got to know him.
Yeah, he would, that show today would not fly.
Why?
Just because of him. Not be that character would not be accepted today.
Why do you say that?
It's too political. He was a young Republican. People would be like, I'm not watching that garbage. Half the country would be loving him, and the other half.
Well, maybe today, but
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Today,
if there,
it was a great show, but the world, the world is so divided, or this country is so divided right now. if he was like walking around with MAGA
That's
pictures
fair.
and
Yeah. Although if this show was made today, I don't know that would have been a key part of his character. You know what I mean? Like I think that show
they
still would have been.
But yes.
That's what I'm saying.
His character would have been vastly different.
Correct. I would agree with that. But it was a great show.
Spin City was good also.
Oh, that was a great show too. Yeah, loved him in space. I like everything he's in.
All right, let's get back to talking sports when we come back from the break, Steve.
Yeah, let's do that. We've got John Odierna, SU defensive coordinator for the lacrosse program, will be on with us. Big weekend ahead. John Desko will be honored as part of the Ring of Honor. Syracuse takes on Virginia, looking to bounce back from that loss to North Carolina. A lot to get to with John Odierna. That's next on ESPN Radio.
Cuse Vegas. Did Lobdell say that Syracuse's NIL was $6-7 million last year? I didn't see that. Oh, thanks, Letus Productions. You like it also? You're welcome to come to my loft and we can blast Celine Dion anytime you'd like. I just invited a complete stranger before you, Steve, to my house.
Yeah. I won't be offended. It's okay.
You don't want to have a Celine Dion party with me? Monday, 1 o'clock, Vinny Lobdell will be on Orange Nation. And he will be in studio.
Who's going to be in studio?
Vinny Lobdell. If I die before you, Steve, will you do a package on me on News Channel 9?
On Channel 9? Probably on this show I would.
I've been in the media in this town for over 30 years.
I'm kidding. Yes. I'm kidding.
Would you leave in my greatest hits? Like, would you put me saying that the A's aren't great and just fighting with you for no reason?
I would take one of our sizzle reels that you put in for the awards, and I would reminisce about all the good times we had. I'd like to reminisce about the good times we had here and outside of work, but there's very few.
There's no good times outside of work
very
for
few.
anybody with me, Steve. I
know, but we could change that.
Insulated. I don't want to change that.
Maybe I do.
Yeah, apparently I'm not Channel 9 worthy. Will you play My Heart Will Go On? Play Dead Man's Party. That seems fitting for me. Oh, I better get the next one ready. This is a lot of work. A lot of pressure on me to do this right. Ooh, number 4. This song is so inappropriate, Steve.
Who would you want to replace you on this show if you're not here?
To replace me? Gaper.
Okay.
If Gaper gets this job. He's so good at this that he could do it with his eyes closed. So Gaper gets the gig. Congratulations, Gaper. You're my replacement. Insects is a great song. You can have my loft too. I rent it though, so You have to pay the rent. You can have it. The world isn't ready for Scooter to host. I can't listen to a link right now. We roll into hour number 2, Steve.
Yeah.
With the number 4 song of 1998, Too Close. By Next. I had never really listened to the lyrics to the song till today.
Come on.
Yeah, it's not one that you want to be in the car with your parents.
I did not realize what they were saying.
Yeah.
And then the female part, what she is saying is happening, is really inappropriate.
Yeah. So let's fade it down and get into our next guest. Okay. Of course. All right, let's drive into our second hour. It's brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota.
When he was saying that, I thought it was becoming difficult for him, but that's not what he was saying.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Let's move on and let's talk lacrosse. You talk about too close. That describes Syracuse, Virginia over the years. The games are always close. We'll get into that rivalry here in a moment with John Odierna, SU defensive coordinator. Coach, before we get into Virginia, though, let's put the North Carolina game to bed. What stood out to you? What were your takeaways from last week's loss to North Carolina?
Sure. First off, I want to thank you guys for having me on. It's been a little while. I think it was the day before we played Maryland was the last time I'm on, so that's a good sign.
That's right.
What were the takeaways from UNC? We just weren't as sharp as we wanted to be fundamentally, first and foremost. And then I think we kind of lost the battle between the lines. I think the possession battle, we didn't create enough possessions through ground ball play. And we had some opportunities to end possessions earlier, and we didn't, which then created mistakes when we were tired. So I would say I think losing by 5 probably makes it look worse than it is. I think the game was probably separated by a handful of plays that went their way that we didn't make go our way. And that's something we've been focusing on all week.
And along those lines, Coach, we heard from Gary Gate yesterday, and he talked a lot about winning the game in the gray areas. And, how much of last week was truly just cleaning up little things, ground balls, getting extra possessions, avoiding transition goals, like some of those controllable things. As you said, it didn't feel like a 5-goal spread watching the game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're playing in the toughest conference in the country, right? So the players have a major say in the outcome, and winning the gray area is critical. I can think of off the top of my head, they had 4 goals in transition, 3 more goals where we had a chance to end a possession. We don't pick up a ground ball. It ends up in our goal. So you're talking about 7 out of 14 goals right there. And that's not even adding in making mistakes, schematically or fundamentally, and then you start to look at those and you're really chunking what's left of those 7. So, I just think we got to play a sharper game when you're playing against the best teams. They punish mistakes. That's how this works. They have scholarships too, so they have a say in the outcome, and they did a much better job of that than we did last weekend.
You've compared the short stick D middies in the past to an offensive line in football that they don't get much credit, but if things go wrong, they get a lot of criticism. How do you feel that unit is performing overall right now?
Yeah, I think you nailed it. I think it's like the offensive lineman. You're not talking about their pass block win rate. You're talking about how many sacks they allow, right? So I would put the short sticks in the same category. If you're not talking about them, that means things are going pretty well. And I think our short stick group has been much improved throughout the entire year. I know that was a pain point for us and was a discussion point, the past couple of years. And I would say those guys have done a great job. Adding Tyler McCarthy there more full time, I think, has been a real shot in the arm for the group too. Tyler's a great athlete and a great player. on both ends of the field. So I think it makes it a little bit more of a dynamic group too, in terms of pushing transition. And I think, Jake Spallina is playing the best lacrosse of his career. Dante Bowen has been an awesome addition from Ohio State. And Jaden Kittleberger as a freshman has been great. And they have Jack Shell and Brett Spallina pushing them at practice too. Those guys have done a great job of making it hard for me to decide who plays. So, we're relatively inexperienced. 3 of those 4 guys were not playing short stick for us last year. So I think we're continuing to see upward trajectory, and they're getting challenged. Again, we play the number 1 schedule in the country, right? So, those guys are getting challenged every week over and over and over. And I think they've done more than enough to acquit themselves in a positive way.
When you look at your unit, how valuable has Riley Figueres been for you guys this year?
Yeah, Riley's been an elite defenseman. I think he's covered some of the best attackmen in the country, better than most, if not all, in a lot of cases. Owen Duffy last week, was arguably the best player in the country. Arguably, of course. I think our guy on our team probably holds that mantle right now. But Owen Duffy's right up there with the best of the best. And Riley did an amazing job on him, just like he has all year, with a lot of really high-level players. So really glad he's on our side. Really glad we have another year with him after this year. And I think when you have a racer type defenseman, you can do some different things that you want to do as a coach and as a unit. So he's been great.
You look at this Virginia squad that you're going to see tomorrow inside the Dome, a team that started the year 3-4, and here they are 2-0 in the ACC after finally beating Duke. They've had so much trouble with the Blue Devils over the years, and they're playing some really good lacrosse right now. What has changed? As you watch video of them and watch game film, what has changed with the Cavs from the beginning of the season to how they're playing right now?
Yeah, they're an elite team. They have elite talent across the roster. They've recruited at a really high level. You got the Millen brothers playing at attack. We're both elite players, and they have another attackman, Truett Sunderland, who plays with those guys at a really high level. And, I think they are playing a lot of younger players. So, that's kind of the trajectory. They're getting their feet under them. I also would say some of their losses early in the year in that 3-4 probably games they could have been on the right side of. I believe Coach Tiffany identified the Maryland overtime loss as the game that turned the season around. So I think they're as good as anybody. They're extremely talented. And now what you're seeing is a young, very talented team playing with a lot of confidence. So, I'm sure they'll be riding high coming into the Dome tomorrow and revenge-minded, since we've gotten the best of them the last 2 years.
This series has always been phenomenal, right? It always seems like it's high scoring, it's up and down, it's a 1-goal game. What's your favorite part of this rivalry? I know you, as coaches, you probably look at it, well, it's just the next opponent, but is there a little extra juice when it's Syracuse, Virginia?
Yeah, I think, like you said, you treat every game like the biggest game of the year. The next game is the biggest game of the year, but you can't deny the history. At least my 2 years here have both been thrilling games, in which case we've won the fourth quarter of both games. The game at the Dome 2 years ago is probably one of the most exciting lacrosse games of the last 5 years. Probably a little too exciting for the defensive coordinator. It was 18-17, but I think every time our two teams come together, it's just such a high collection of offensive talent. Whether you're a casual fan or somebody that's trying to get into the sport, you probably don't need to watch for very long to be amazed by something that happens on the field.
Tomorrow's also going to be a big day. John Desko going into the Ring of Honor. I don't know how well you know him or have gotten to know him over the years, but any thoughts on him kind of taking his rightful place in the Ring of Honor and what he's meant to this program for so many years?
Yeah, Coach Desko is a legend. I didn't have the opportunity to work with him, obviously, but I've gotten to meet him and chat with him. He was actually at practice today, too, but I've gotten to chat with him over the last couple of years. And, he's an unbelievable lacrosse mind. He was an excellent coach. He was part of, 11 national championship teams. I don't think that will ever happen again. That's just unbelievable. And, he's just a great guy to have around, and he watches everything, and he's got thoughts and opinions about what we're doing. And he's pretty spot on with his feelings. So, it's awesome to have him around. Like I said, he was at practice today. A lot of the guys were chatting with him. We all got to chat with him after practice for a bit. And he's earned every bit of the glory he's getting tomorrow. And he just had a great career. So, he's a great guy to have around.
Triple header tomorrow inside the Dome. Women play Notre Dame at noon. You guys play Virginia at 4, and then the spring game at night. And again, I know you're focused on your team. I don't know how much you've been able to pay attention to what the women's team's doing, but they've reeled off 11 wins in a row. Their defense has been phenomenal. You being a defensive coordinator, how impressed have you been with what Reggie Thorpe has done and Caitlin DeFelice have done on the women's side of things with that defense?
Yeah, it's been awesome to watch. I'm a fan of defense in all sports. So, I think it's been pretty unbelievable to watch, especially starting the year playing against the top 3 teams, going 0-3, and now ripping off 10 or 11 in a row. It's been unbelievable to watch. And what's probably most impressive is just how difficult their schedule is. And they play, it feels like, every 3 days, and they find a way to be on the right side of the scoreboard. I think that's probably the most exciting thing, is proving that you can win close games against high-level opponents. And yes, defensively, it's been a lot of fun to watch. A couple 6-5 games in there, which is a D coordinator's dream. I have offered Coach DeFelice if she wants to stop at practice and talk to the defense at a huddle. I'm more than happy to allow her to do that. So it has been a lot of fun to watch.
That's funny. Talking about making sure you come out on the right end of the score at the end. What does this game come down to tomorrow for you guys? Syracuse, Virginia, as we said, it always seems like it's like a 1-goal game. It comes down to the fourth quarter. What does this game ultimately come down for you guys tomorrow?
Yeah, we just have to play a cleaner brand of lacrosse than we did last week. And at this point of the year, you're playing such good competition. You're willing to win under any circumstances. As much as, the D coordinator wants to see it be low scoring, I would happily sign up for 18-17. 2 years ago, that game was a shootout, and, we had to make the last stop of the game. We shut them out for the last 8 minutes. If it's 18-17 and that's what it takes, I'm happy to do that. And if it's the other way, I'm sure the coaching staff would sign up for the other way too. It's just playing a cleaner game, more fundamental, a little more urgency, winning some of those whistle-ready situations, and in all areas, playing a little bit sharper and turning it up a little bit more. And I think possessions will be a big part of it too. I mean, last week was the highest volume of possessions we've defended in a game. And I think that ground ball play, some of the face-off area stuff with the wing play, I think could really tilt the game in our favor. And it should be an exciting game no matter how you slice it.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. John, I always look forward to our conversations, talking lacrosse with you. Thanks so much for the time today. Best of luck, continued success as this thing moves along.
Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, John Odierna joining us on the program today. And with that, we'll take a timeout. Phone lines open the rest of the way. 315-437-7644, Paulie.
Just sold a new segment, Steve, today in athletics history, or A's history. You'd like to break down the A's again.
What happened today?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to come at me with a nugget that was like really basic.
It's the only team in baseball I can spell.
All right, we'll take a timeout here. Back after this on ESPN Radio. Oh, I got one.
Okay, that's uncomfortable.
What?
This picture of you and I is the Titanic couple. I don't like that one. What do you got?
I got a good this day in Oakland A's history.
Oh, okay. Raleigh Fingers, Dennis Eckersley, Ricky Henderson, Reggie Jackson. Who's the greatest A of all time? Because nobody really stays there.
Right.
Ricky. Gotta be, right?
Didn't he have his big
Vida Blue, that's
he had a stolen base record with the A's, I think, didn't he?
He broke 3,000 hits with the Padres.
No, but when he
did that,
yeah, that was with the A's, I think.
But he won World Series with like the Blue Jays and Yankees.
Catfish Hunter, Canseco, those are good. Yeah, I'm with Mikey P. Henderson's the one that comes to mind to me first, but he was also really popular when I was a kid, so maybe that's why.
Our records, they've been mainly more focused lately on like the 60s, 70s, 80s, jazz, funk, soul, R&B, classic rock. I think that'd be a fun segment during today's business. Hip hop, we've got classic rock. You were just polishing up a guitar. Tell me about some of the instruments. Let's say there's today we're doing MLB. A guitar, bass guitars, and the electric guitars, and we have a nice amount of acoustics right now. Sometimes we'll see some brass, some woodwind.
And most obscure player you can remember from that team?
You're going to be better at that than me because you're a baseball guy. I'm not.
I can do NFL, Steve. One day we'll do basketball.
Why are you coming at me?
Because you're soft when it comes to baseball.
I was just saying, like,
NBA team generator. There we go. We'll do NBA today just for you, Steve. I feel like we're all behind in the... Why do you think I'm coming at you, Tom?
I don't know.
I think you're being...
It was like, oh, we do a different sport, Steve. Like, I wasn't saying we have to do a different sport. I was just saying you know baseball better than I do.
Yeah, that's why I can't believe you came at me when I said, let's hold off on the A's.
You said before you crown them. There was no crowning.
I said that after the argument had already started. I don't know this song.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you were coming.
Coming in at number 3, April 10th, 1998. Frozen by Madonna. I don't know this song. Should I?
Sure you do.
No, I don't.
Okay, I've heard the song, yeah. So can I give you an update on this day in Oakland A's history?
Yes.
April 10th, 1968 is the first ever game for the Oakland A's.
Oh.
For the A's in
Didn't
Oakland.
you used to do a segment Padre or Astro
yes,
or something like that?
We did. But April 10, 1968, first game ever played by the Oakland A's. They were, in other cities prior to that, Philadelphia, Kansas City. The first home run, so they scored one run that game. They lost 3-1 to Baltimore. The one run was accounted for by Reggie Jackson. Hit the first home run in A's history as they lost the game 3-1.
That led me to ask you who the greatest A in A history is.
So Ricky Henderson comes to mind for me.
I would say Ricky Henderson also.
Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire came up in the chat.
Mark McGuire's a good one.
Yeah, those are Catfish Hunter came up.
Vita Blue.
Yeah, those are all good.
Tim, do you have a...
Well, you guys are hitting on all the main ones. I just think of the Moneyball guys now when I think of the A's, Not that they're the best.
That pitching staff was...
Zito. Yeah. Tim Hudson.
So it made me want to do that now where we just pick one random team and whoever we get, we say the the greatest player in history for that team. I can't get the wheel to stop spinning, though. Minnesota Timberwolves.
Oh, we're doing NBA, too.
Minnesota Timberwolves.
Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Garnett, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Anthony Edwards is probably, creeping up.
I would say Kevin Garnett.
Kevin Love had some big years.
Yeah.
Garnett's a no-brainer.
Johnny Flynn.
Taking over Steph Curry. All right, there we go. So there we go. A unanimous vote today. That's super easy, super fast, super fun.
Get it sponsored.
All right, the Wheel of Teams. Let's go to the Wheel of Stefan.
Stefan and Utica up next. Stefan, what's up?
Well, hello, Paulie and Steve.
How are you today, Stefan?
And Tim.
Doing good. And tonight, the Mets will be playing the A's wherever they are located this day and age.
Yeah, be careful because the A's are better than you would think.
Yeah, and the Mets are kind of struggling right now. To move on here, with spring camp coming up, what's the expectation for Syracuse football for the spring and eventually the fall coming up?
Yeah, well, I think tomorrow, and Tim's actually here, and I know Tim's going to kind of fill us in on the spring game. Details have been few and far between when it comes to Fran Brown mentioning what the spring game is going to be. He said the other day that, there's going to be a whole lot of hitting going on other than the quarterbacks. Like, I'm sure they're not going to touch the quarterbacks. Angeli probably isn't even going to play. I mean, that's our assumption. He hasn't come out and said that yet, but I would be shocked if he was,
we don't need him.
If he was playing in this
out
game.
There. Just stay healthy.
But we don't. I'm not even sure we know a format to this point, Tim. Do we?
No, I know it's a 7:30 to 9 o'clock thing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be legitimate football to some extent. I don't know how much we'll really learn from it. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't go. And I mean, it's a free event to go to. And Fran's talking a big game about how they're going to teach chants to the crowd, and hopefully it'll be a good turnout from the community overall. I do think that, unfortunately, nowadays these spring games have become more of keeping it close to the vest because they don't want Fran doesn't want his plays out there.
Sure.
So, but I mean, it's free to go to the game. It's right after the lacrosse game. It should be something that if you're a Syracuse football fan, you should go to, because I'm sure you'll get to see the backup quarterbacks throw the ball around. You'll get to see the wide receivers, who we have a lot of question marks about that position. But I think you're right, Steve. I would be completely shocked if Steve Angeli throws. I think he's making great progress, but he's not going to play. He's just going to be on the sideline, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that's the smart thing to do, because as we saw last year, a lot of the success of your season hinges upon his health and his ability to go out there and do for this team what he did through 3.5 games last year. And so we'll see. We'll see how it all goes tomorrow. But I'm interested to see the backup quarterbacks, the receivers. I don't know that you're going to be able to glean much else, aside from how the backup quarterbacks throw the ball and which receivers are. Yeah, right. I don't know how much you'll notice outside of that.
I'll be there gleaning.
Glean's a good word.
That's my favorite place to glean things. It's spring games. Spring gleaning, as I call it.
We really haven't talked much football. I mean, from what we know of the depth chart right now, do you guys have any trepidations about any position groups? Are there any position groups that you feel like are going to be better than expected?
I have no idea. And there can't be anybody more happy that they had to hire a new AD, hire a new basketball coach, and then the transfer portal kicking in than Fran Brown right now, because nobody's really asking questions about this team. And, I don't know. I'm hoping the offensive line is good, and I'm just hoping everybody stays healthy. You're already down, like, the face of you were hoping it would be the face of your program for 4 years is already out.
I stand corrected. The format is out there, by the way, Tim.
Oh, nice.
I just had it sent to me. This year's spring game will start with a situational end-of-half scenario before the teams play the remainder of the game in true 11-on-11 football. So it sounds like it's going to be a mix. Fran Brown will take to the mic, interacting with the crowd. There will be special on-field promotions, and spring team award winners will be announced as well. So there you go.
Yeah, they did that last year. Like, every break was so-and-so is the spring award winner of the year for this. And, yeah, it was a good way to do something in between the action, keep the fans engaged, I'd say.
Yeah. So it should be fun. It's going to be a great day inside the Dome tomorrow. You got the women's lacrosse, men's lacrosse, football. You can make a day of it with your family. And
I think I'm going.
Good.
Really?
You going to lacrosse?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go as a fan day for Paulie.
Nice.
I never get to partake in Syracuse sports as a fan. I'm going to go. I'm going to go glean. Glean
and wait
some
for all
lacrosse.
your lacrosse takes. Yeah.
That way you can take part in the interviews. I feel so, I feel like I'm leaving you out when we have the lacrosse guests.
I'm saving myself from looking stupid.
You listen to Gary Gate talk lacrosse for an hour every week now, and you haven't gotten the itch to. I guess you do have the itch to go to a game.
He did ask a question about the 10-man ride early in the season.
Because that name made me laugh.
He did ask about the 10-man ride.
Yeah, Virginia might throw some 10-man ride at Syracuse tomorrow, actually. I asked Gary that. He said they're doing it a little bit less than they have in the past, but he was like, we're ready for it. I mean, they played every team that has a 10-man ride this year, I feel like. So I'm sure that's in the scouting report for Syracuse tomorrow. Yeah, the spring game, I definitely want to see the wide receivers. Cole Weaver, I think, is a promising player that we have not seen play, and maybe that could be a guy that I could see being the star of the spring game. I mean, I'm trying to guess who are we going to come on and be talking about Monday and everyone's going to overreact to, or what are people going to glean from this game. But I don't know if there's going to be much to learn from the spring game overall.
Making fun of me.
Yeah, I say glean all the time, apparently, on my show. People in the chat are always like, what are you gleaning today, Tim?
Oh, okay.
So I think it's just one of those words.
Someone was making fun of someone was like, I need a dictionary to listen to Steve today because you said edification, trepidation.
I said trepidation, I think. Yeah.
Jovial?
Yeah, jovial. You're out here throwing
SAT
words around.
words, yeah.
I don't think jovial is an SAT word, but...
No.
It should be fun. And as you said, Paulie, we'll have something to actually talk about when we come in here on Monday. We'll have a spring football game to talk about, whatever happens. A couple of lacrosse games.
We won't be prognosticating any longer.
There you go. That's an SAT word, vocab word.
Down.
Good. All right. Shall we take a time out here? We'll get to today's business on the other side.
Sounds good. We'll throw more big words at the audience after this.
Back after this on ESPN Radio.
Just having a big man on your coaching staff makes your center all-world Orange Nation. Ryan Mullen took a 10th of a point away from your GPA, Steve.
Wow.
He said you had a 3.8. Perseverating on big words. Good one, Matt from Auburn. You're supposed to talk at an 8th grade level, Steve, to the audience. That's what newspapers
they say?
written. Yeah, newspapers are written at an 8th grade level.
They didn't tell me that in Newhouse.
I'm going to ask AI a question.
What level should I talk to my radio audience at?
Where's the best place to glean?
Ask AI, what do you think I'll glean from the Syracuse football spring game? The update.
The best places to glean are local farms, suburban backyards with fruit trees.
What?
Ted Emrich's update yesterday when I was listening, he called it EA's Creek, the tributary of EA's Creek, instead of Ray's Creek. It's like, I guess the script was wrong, but like, how do you mess that up?
It's like Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Reading what's there.
Oh, glean also means to gather leftover grain and other produce after a harvest. So maybe that's why it said that. Press clippings is a good place to glean, Steve. Do you have press clippings? Doesn't AI basically just glean when you ask it a question?
That's fair.
Essentially.
Bet you guys didn't tune in today expecting...
Ask AI, what are the top SAT vocabulary words in 2026?
Do they still have the SAT?
Yeah. I think the grading is different than what I did.
You can opt out of it now. Not
oh, really?
Yeah. A lot of colleges don't even require it anymore. Scotty's getting back on track. He's got 2 straight birdies. He's back to -2.
Yeah. God, I took the SAT 5 times because I kept getting better, and they were like, keep taking it. And I mean, I guess I didn't study it all the first time. They say just go in, don't even worry about studying really, and then you won't use that. But most people take it, I think, 3 times.
92 vocabulary words that you need to know. Abandon, abate, abject, aberration, beguile.
These aren't that.
Bereft, blandishment. Do you know what a blandishment is?
I don't.
No.
Kevin Roy's got the afternoon flight today, so I think his score is probably going to come down a little bit from yesterday.
Like if I was to say to Steve, we should talk baseball more often. Your knowledge of the A's is impeccable.
Oh, that's a good word.
That would be a blandishment.
What's a blandishment?
A flattering
Tell me
statement.
what that is. Maybe I can work it into
a flattering statement used to persuade somebody.
Oh.
The end of our segment, I'm just going to throw in blandishment to make you guys laugh.
Cacophony. You know what that is?
Yeah. That's like
it's
a lot of
noises.
Harsh, discordant mixture of sounds.
Yeah.
Like the train horn in the dome with the crowd. With Kyle wooing, get a cacophony of sounds at once.
Circumscribe.
Like they just did the Masters update for radio
Restrict with
listeners.
limits.
We don't really need to. We can talk about it.
We can talk about the live guys were awful yesterday if you want to.
Yep.
Ebullient. Are you ebullient?
What?
I was not ebullient today. Oh, I blew it. I ruined number 1. No, number 2 on the Billboard chart. Let's Ride by Montel Jordan. I was too busy reading SAT words because Kim made me do it.
Do you guys see?
It's fun to learn.
Speaking of no hitters on the board, I put this down for the Yankees update, brought to you by the Wildcat Sports Pub, our new segment. Jeffrey Springs yesterday had a no-hitter against the Yankees, and he said in the interview afterwards he didn't even know he was pitching a no-hitter. They interviewed him, and they were like, so what were you thinking? Did you want to stay in the game, et cetera? And he said when they pulled him from the game, he thought it was the 6th inning. It was actually the 7th inning. He was just so locked in on next batter.
Impressive. That's impressive.
Don't you realize it when nobody's talking to you?
You would think.
Yeah.
But that shows you how much of a zone he was in. Good for him.
You think Paulie can ever get in that much of a zone on the board?
But I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. That's why I don't know what's going on.
After 30 years.
I was trying to have fun and just spin the wheel again, and it landed on the Minnesota Timberwolves again.
No.
Houston Rockets.
Olajuwon?
Yeah, for sure.
Hakeem Olajuwon? Okay, is it that easy?
I think so.
I mean, Tracy McGrady for my generation, Yao Ming. Those were some good teams.
They don't touch Olajuwon.
No, for sure.
Okay, Hakeem Olajuwon. All right, what do you got, today's business?
Let's talk about the Masters. We've all been watching it.
Brought to you by Burdick Toyota, our coverage of the Masters.
Yeah, we just got a little update if you're listening on the radio from Ted Emmerich. But right now, the storyline of the tournament really is the golf course. I mean, this is as firm and fast as I have ever seen Augusta play on Friday. And the leaderboard is sticking with Rory McIlroy at the top and Sam Burns also at 5 under. Burns has played 4 holes so far. Rory's set to tee off in about 10 minutes. But my guess is Rory would sign up for even and sign his scorecard right now. It's going to be very spicy, very tough this afternoon. And it's only going to get warmer and hotter. And I think Saturday and Sunday, it's going to be carnage. It's going to be unlike recent Masters where we've drawn a lot of wet conditions and soft play. I think this is going to be really fun to watch over the weekend.
Yeah, and we saw yesterday that the golf course at the end of the day was nothing like the golf course at the beginning of the day, and now, the guys going out in the afternoon, like I know Rory was 5 under yesterday. You would expect, to your point, that he's certainly not going to shoot that today.
No.
And I heard a lot of the experts saying that, maybe 10 under or less wins this tournament, after we saw him him and Sam Burns both post a 5 under par yesterday, which means I know there's that stat out there, right, that, 18 of the last 20 Masters winners have been in the top 12, I believe, after the first round. You would be hard-pressed to see anybody outside of that, top 10, top 12 win this tournament. And there are a lot of big names, right now. Justin Rose is in there. Scotty Scheffler, after a slow start today, he's kind of rebounded. He's in the top 10 right now. You've got Rory. So it's stacking up to be an exciting weekend. But to your point, Tim, the course is playing very, very difficult. And, if you're Rory, you would sign up for a 72 today in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Rory, watching him yesterday,
he couldn't put the ball in the fairway, but he still scored well.
And they always talk about in golf, it's not very sustainable if you're leaning on your putter very much. And he was third in the field in strokes gained putting yesterday. He made everything inside 7 feet, and he had a lot of par savers that he had to make. And he really didn't play that well until the back nine. I went through his round. It's cool on the Masters app. You can watch every shot back. And through 7 holes, there was nothing about him that would have made me think, yeah, he's vibing and this is going to be the leader at the end of the first round. But he did get to 5 under, so I'm kind of curious how he plays the rest of the week, knowing that it just didn't seem like he was really in tune with his swing completely.
I think he had 6 fairways yesterday, 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think any of those came until the 9th hole, which... From there on, he did drive the ball pretty well, but it'll be interesting to see how he plays. The other thing we were talking about, Steve, a lot of the LIV guys struggled yesterday. It's actually fascinating just going through the leaderboard. Patrick Reed is still kind of a LIV guy because he's waiting to join the PGA Tour, but he's made his intentions clear. He's always played pretty well here, got a great short game. He is 3 under. So in a way, he's kind of a LIV guy that's successful. Brooks Koepka has bailed on LIV and is back on the PGA Tour. Good to see him playing well. He's 2 under today and 2 under for the tournament, tied 9th. And actually, Tyrrell Hatton is the one who's really charging today, a LIV guy. He's 5 under, best round on the course to get to 3 under overall. But you see John Rahm again struggling. Bryson struggled yesterday. It's fascinating how these LIV guys aren't playing as well in the majors.
You bring up Patrick Reed. He's not going to be allowed to play PGA Tour events until the fall. So what is he doing until? Does he just play the majors?
He's playing on the DP World Tour, European Tour, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that's my understanding. I really haven't kept tons of tabs on him, but I think he has been playing some events here or there. And
he can't play LIV and he can't play PGA. He can play the majors, but I guess it makes sense he's playing the DP Tour. Interesting. Okay.
Jason Day update. He's even through 2.
Do you wish that you had?
Yes, he's tied for 5th -3. He's only 2 shots.
You wish you threw $10 on him?
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Yeah. Here's a tough one. Toronto Blue Jays.
Ooh.
Roger Clemens.
Ooh.
Fred McGriff.
I mean, the Joe Carter moment popped in my head. When you said
but he's
Blue
not
Jays.
the greatest
I know, but the moment popped in my head.
Ricky spent some time there, but he wasn't there long enough.
Tony Fernandez was there. No, I know. I'm just that's from my childhood. I watched him come through Syracuse.
I think it's got to be Roy Halladay.
Ooh, maybe.
Roy Halladay, Roger Clemens.
Roy Halladay is a good one.
Okay, so let's come to a unanimous Roger Clemens or Roy Halladay, because he's
Halladay
more associated with the Blue Jays.
Yes, because Clemens, you would say Red Sox.
Okay, there we go. Roy Halladay. Yeah. We should be keeping track of these. There we go.
I was gonna look up on a Blue Jay site. What do they have as the top player? I'm scrolling to the bottom. It's like we're waiting on the wheel to spin.
I can do another one while we're.
Yeah, spin it again.
I am.
Joe Carter's number 20, Fred McGriff number 7. This is just some random Blue Jays blog.
St. Louis Cardinals.
Roy Halladay, number 1.
All right, so yeah.
Okay.
Jose Batista, Carlos Delgado thrown out.
St. Louis Cardinals. This is a tough one.
Yeah, this one's got Halladay number 1 too.
Stan Musial.
Wait, what? I wasn't
St.
listening.
Louis Cardinals.
Ooh, yeah.
Ozzie Smith.
Ozzie Smith
Stan
comes to mind for me.
Ozzie Smith for sure, right?
No.
I mean, he's up there, right?
I think Stan Musial.
Well, yeah.
But we weren't.
I'm just throwing out names.
We weren't around for him. Yeah, I would say Ozzie Smith is the one that would come to mind for me.
Aren't we missing a pitcher that's... Why can't I think? I thought there was like a ace for them for years. I mean, what about like Yadier Molina even?
Oh, that's a good Albert Pujols.
Yeah.
Stan Musial, like I just Google it just to see
Bob Gibson.
Bob Gibson.
They're good.
You mentioned Pujols?
Yeah, I would say Stan Musial is the greatest.
Not one of the all-time greats, but this is just going to lead us into thinking about notable players. So Jim Edmonds, I always think about him running up the mound and catching that. Yeah.
The internet has Stan Musial, Bob Gibson, Pujols, Rogers Hornsby, Ozzie Smith, Yadi Molina, Lou Brock, Dizzy Dean. That's a pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good starting 9. All right. Sorry.
All right.
Anything else? Let's see. What else on today's business brought to you by Superior Plus Propane?
I have an adorable kicker.
Oh, I do want to talk a little bit about the women's basketball portal. We saw yesterday there was a report Sophie Burrows is going to visit North Carolina, which, that makes sense. There are a lot of in-conference transfers, I feel like, in women's basketball. I don't really know what the reason is for that. Maybe it's because there's not a ton of scouting out there, but I'm sure the scouting is getting better and better as the sport is growing. She's a really smart student, a psych major, I believe, so I'm sure she'll go to some place that is very good academically. And as someone who used to live in North Carolina and now lives in Syracuse, I can understand why you would look at UNC as an appealing school if you're Sophie Burrows, and that would be fascinating if Syracuse is playing her in conference next year. She has one more year of eligibility. Sarah Rhombus, a 6'3" forward for Oregon, came off the bench mostly last year, very efficient in the time she played, about 6 points per game, is going to visit Syracuse this weekend. So they're starting to get some visitors, and I'm sure we will hear some commitments on the women's side soon.
Do you have any more insight into why Sophie Burrows decided to leave?
I think it was a surprise. My guess is that it comes down to money a little bit. I mean, I think with Sophie Burrows, she was very happy here. She was here for 3 years. I don't think we should read into it like, oh, she doesn't like Coach Jack or there's a culture problem. I think of all the players, she seemed to really like Coach Jack and spoke about that a ton. So a lot of this just comes down to players are going to hit the free market if they can, because that makes logical sense to try and get the most money possible. And I don't think there's anything really to worry about from a women's basketball perspective about how many players left, because I've been saying this to people. They had 15 players on the roster last year, and they were all scholarship players that wanted to play major minutes. So if you go into a season with 15 players on your roster, right away, that's 5 that are probably going to hit the portal immediately. You're back half of the roster. And that's kind of what happened, plus Sophie Burrows. And maybe Jasmine Cooper I would throw in as someone that I was a little bit disappointed to see go in the portal. But 7 players sounds like a lot. It's not even half their roster.
And if there was a culture problem, the centerpiece of your team would not be coming back in Right. So I think that puts that, even, and I didn't think that was an issue, but I mean, that puts that argument to bed because.
Or what about 2 years ago? They had a terrible season and they brought everyone back. Right. So the culture is clearly pretty strong.
Yeah, correct.
Phillies Most Wanted said, this is the longest we've gone without talking SU basketball in months. Not sure if that's a good or bad thing. Like, what do you want us to just make stuff up? Like, we can't do anything else until something happens. Like, we're just going to speculate on every kid is in the portal. Everybody's in the portal right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the men's side, they probably have visitors coming this weekend.
Yeah.
And
Monday, hopefully, we'll be talking about things again.
As I pointed out, and you guys said the stat, I mean, 7 of the top 100 players have committed in the portal from 24/7 Sports. It feels like it's been even a slower drip than previous years, and maybe people are worried about tampering. I don't know, but it just seems like we're not going to know about the men's players for the next couple days.
Govinda said lots of visitors. Shocked no one's talked about who. They're kind of being tight-lipped about it. Yeah. I haven't heard even a name.
Very tight-lipped. And that could be what you're suggesting, Tim, that, folks are worried about tampering and, making some of these things official too quickly because it'll reflect poorly on the program. But, yeah, I think this is going to be a big weekend. I'm with you, Paulie. I'm expecting and hopeful that come Monday and Tuesday, hopefully early in the week, we'll have some concrete things to talk about. But for right now, it's just a lot of speculation, a lot of wait and see.
Broke down the big lacrosse game. Broke down the spring game.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do. Sometimes you just got to say Stan Musial randomly. Did you know?
This day in Oakland A's history.
Spin the wheel again. Let's get in one more before the break.
This is fun.
Put this in your pipe and smoke it. Philly's Most Wanted. Oh, this is a tough one. Cincinnati Reds. They have so many good players. Johnny Bench.
So Pete Rose immediately comes to mind for me.
Rose.
It's got to be Pete Rose, right?
I don't know. They have so many good players. Is it Pete Rose?
It's funny you say that because in my generation, they just haven't been that good. Joey Votto. I'm just going to name my generation to add some youthful names, but there just haven't been a lot for the Cincinnati Reds. Brandon Phillips over
Dave
at second
Concepcion,
base.
Frank Robinson. Pete Rose is like number one on every one of their lists. So
yeah, I think it's Pete Rose. Yeah, I've just called up a few. It's Pete Rose, Johnny Bench, 1, 2, and pretty much everything I'm seeing.
Okay, that was fun. Did you guys know Dateline? Dayton, Ohio. Skippy the Wallaby is back with his owners after having a bit of fun this morning. He got loose at 8:30 a.m. in the area of Sinclair Community College. Skippy is owned by a student at the Veterinary Technology School of Sinclair. Reno brings Skippy to high schools and other schools to help with their tech program for veterinarians. And she went to lock her car door, and he jumped up and broke his crate and got loose. So there was a wallaby.
On the loose
in Dayton.
Well, glad all is well now.
Yes. So tie your kangaroo down, sport.
You guys have lived here a while.
I got all the way.
Oh, it went over my head. You guys have lived here a while. Has there ever been an animal that's gotten loose from the zoo?
Animal loose in Syracuse? Just Steve.
I don't think I've
Steve
ever.
in his party days.
It's a good question.
Do you think?
Now we got the aquarium coming too. No one's going to get loose from that. But
I feel like something got out of the zoo.
Was there a bear?
Like a bird.
Bird got out.
Yeah, like a bird got out of the zoo. Has an animal. How are you liking this one, Philly?
Yeah. Billy, I'll talk Jalen Cox on my show. You can tune back in.
I bet you will. Syracuse. Okay, I'll hurry. In February 2013, no animals had escaped the zoo, but there were reports that a tiger had escaped. In the 1980s, two bear cubs squeezed through the fence and escaped the zoo. False alarm of a tiger in 2013, and in 1938, a coyote escaped and was chased by the police.
There you go.
So there's been 3 notable animal escapes.
Pretty good.
It's amazing what you can just pull up on the internet.
My favorite children's book to read to JP, he's getting a little old for it now, but was when he was a little bit younger. Goodnight Gorilla. I don't know if either of you have ever heard of that in the past, but it's a little like they go through the zoo. Little monkey unlocks the cage for all the animals. They all get out. They go back to the zookeeper's house. It's a cute little book. So that made me think of it. All right. Why don't we take our last time out here on the show?
We'll spin another wheel, the wheel of years, because I'm going to do it again on Monday.
I love it. This has been enjoyable. We'll take a time out here. We'll wrap things up next on ESPN Radio.
You got shelled you got pulled in the 3rd inning, and we're throwing you back out there. Same game plan next week.
I like this one. This was fun. I was like, and I literally listened to Too Close for the first time, and Yeah, I feel a little poke coming through from you.
Yeah, it's
getting
racy.
Hard on me.
It's racy.
All the news this week or today in the portal is like so-and-so's going on a visit. I guess it just makes sense that you would go on a visit over the weekend if you're, in theory, a student athlete too.
Yeah.
So maybe that's overlooked. We don't consider these people student athletes.
Yeah, I love that book, Sport Boy, and it's quick too. It's like
I read it.
You can get through that book in a minute if you go quick. That's like one of those, like, can we read another story? And you're like, okay, good night, Gorilla. Where is it? You bang it out in a minute.
Everyone thinks Audie Crooks is going to Notre Dame. Join Hannah Hidalgo.
Come on. I did the random year generator. It stopped on 1998 again.
Is that right?
You got it.
Maybe
Something
it's not
wrong with
so
the
random.
wheel. Yeah.
It's not so random.
That's
All right,
back
there
to
we
back.
go. I got a new one. It's random. Stop questioning the wheel of random. Oh. I'm getting old. How much do you think Burton's getting? He didn't play at all last year.
Marcus Burton?
Yeah.
According to that random dude on Twitter that popped up that I was joking about with you guys, it was like $2.5 million.
Like, do you want another? Like, Marcus Burton's the equivalent of getting Nate George again, right? You're getting a point guard from a loser team.
He might be more Donnie because of the injury issues. Like, he's good. You got to worry about the injuries.
But he's just lost everywhere he's played.
Yeah.
Well,
he's played at one place, yeah. But
didn't he come to Notre Dame from somewhere?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I thought he was an ACC transfer.
Let's see.
I think is he going into his junior year? Or is he going into his senior year?
He played 3 years at Notre Dame.
Okay. Remember that must have been 2 years ago now. He scored like 30 in the first half and then didn't score in the second half.
Syracuse was down 17 at half.
Yeah.
And they won that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's scored a lot of points. 17
I called
and a half,
that game for Notre
21
Dame.
and a half, 18 and a half.
I called
the
that
game for Notre Dame.
Yeah, they need to fill in because it was during the college football playoff, and they were in the championship that year. And that was the game that Shrewsbury got ejected. He went berserk with like 15 seconds left. He was out on the court. I mean, doesn't really narrow it down with him. But
Scratching the wheeze with the Echo and the Bunnyman. I would do that. Lips like sugar. Bring on the dancing horses.
I don't like with the Masters that if you're not watching it, you can't see like the shot by shot, like how things are going. Like because they don't allow cameras on the course. So
like the shot tracer, or what do you?
No, like even like play like you go to PGA.com, any other tournament, you click on the guy and it'll say like play by play, and like you can see like you can follow along shot by shot. But they don't do that.
Steve, will you be covering Patrick Corbin's debut with the Blue Jays tonight?
They do they have it updated after the fact, like the videos, which is kind of cool. But
it's like after the whole
yeah, you're not in real time for sure.
Like, Scotty's on a par 5 right now. Like, where is he? Is he in the fairway? Is he reachable in 2? Is he in trouble?
Yeah.
Patrick Corbin's debut?
Yeah.
For the Blue Jays? You'll be covering that on News Channel 9?
Maybe.
Why do you live and local, bro?
Yeah.
The number, I keep forgetting to turn the mics on. The number one song this day, 1998, is an absolute banger. Casey and JoJo, All My Life.
I would never find another lover sweeter than you.
This
This is such a you song.
Is there any Kenny Rogers song that was this good? No. Besides, that was number one on the country charts and not on the Billboard charts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Islands in the Stream is as good as this. You see what I'm getting at?
I feel like this song was like number one for the whole year. Like this song was number one for a while. I don't know how long, but I remember this.
Why is this song me?
It's just you like this type of music.
You do.
I feel like.
R&B? Yeah, I do too. So I'm with you on that, Paulie. It's a great song.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you talk about how sometimes you sing in the car to songs that are your guilty pleasure songs.
This is one.
Yeah.
This isn't. I'm not. There is zero reason
There's
to
no
not.
guilt?
No, you admit you like this song and you slap anybody that doesn't. Okay.
I'm with you, Paulie. I got your back on this one.
I'm trying to figure out how long it was on the Billboard chart for. Why don't you look that up while I tell everybody what year we will do.
What's the name of the song? All My Life?
All My Life by Casey and JoJo.
Okay.
Boss giving out commands to co-host.
He can fire me, so I got to do what he says.
These are pretty good, though. Did you know that Monday we'll be doing 1988, the top 7 songs from April 13th, 1988.
1988, okay. It was on the Billboard charts for 35 weeks.
Ooh. It spent 3 weeks at number one.
3 weeks at number one. So I guess it wasn't number one for as long as I thought. But it was, I remember that. Like, the song was always on the radio.
Brooks Koepka to 3 under through 13. Scotty's on 13 right now.
He is. He's -2, even for the day, -2.
Leaderboard's looking good. I mean, imagine if we get a Rory Scotty on a Furman Fast Augusta duel this weekend.
Patrick Reed in the top 5, Jason Day in the top 5, Brooks Koepka in the top 5.
All right, here we go. One quick thing. Can you think of a song from 1988 just off the top of your head?
I don't. My brain doesn't work like that. Like what year it was.
I don't know. I Straight Up maybe by Paula Abdul.
I don't know.
You can't do that. See, maybe I am a psychopath.
Yeah, I mean you're a music guy. I don't know. Let's see. I'm gonna see if you're right. What did you say?
1988. Straight Up.
Half the show today has been Googling stuff.
List of Billboard Top 100 from 1988.
Sweet Child of Mine.
Why would you not just Google 19 Paula Abdul Straight Up and see what year it came out?
Oh, well,
don't say songs because that's going to ruin the.
Oh, okay. All right, fine.
1988, Paulie. Nice.
Thank you. Okay, that's the end of the show.
How do you know stuff like that?
I don't know. How do you know they is already good?
It was so long ago. Oh, I remember 1988. It was Paula Abdul.
I loved my childhood. Like
that's impressive.
I had fun in my childhood. Like I remember listening to Straight Up while I was walking up. Like we would have our Walkmans on, walking up Hawks Hill to go get drunk. Let's go.
Hey, you didn't do that, Steve? You didn't even live.
You haven't lived.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Hawks Hill?
I have. Yeah, I've been.
Helicopter ever come and chase you? That was a wild time. Like, that used to happen. Like, that's a wild time. Like, that. You ever at a party where the helicopter came?
No. That happened?
Yes.
To everyone? Lived, Tim. You haven't lived.
Yeah. Like, it seems like a terrible waste of resources.
All right, this brings up a legitimate question for Steve that I'm sure you probably asked him before, Paulie, but have you ever been at a party and the cops are coming and you have to flee a house party?
No.
Ever?
No.
Wow. Yeah. I do think that one's kind of a rite of passage of going to high school, or even maybe in college it might happen to you.
Yeah, no, nothing that I recall. No.
Wow.
Steve is the one who calls the cops.
That's funny.
Philly's Most Wanted says Paulie traded in his sobriety, traded in fun for sobriety, and this guy hasn't learned to find happiness in sobriety. I had a lot of fun this weekend, or past weekend. I went to a Padres Red Sox game. I have a lot of fun. But no, like my childhood was, like I look so fondly on those years, and like that music was the soundtrack of my life.
Sure. Right. No, I get that. It's impressive though you were able to pull the year just like that.
Jen B says, "Oh my God, we got chased all the time in high school." I remember I was at a keg and I said, "Can you pump that for me?" And it was a cop standing there, and I just threw my cup and took off running.
That's funny. All right, we got to go. We're out of time. Anything real quick, Tim, you want to mention about tonight's show?
We're going to be talking sports, naming names and Jalen Cox, people like that. We'll dive into actual sports.
I think he just took a shot at us.
Yeah.
I think that was an offhanded remark by Tim. He was taking a shot at us,
I'm
Paulie.
kidding.
1988 is also 1987 more listeners than he'll have.
Good one.
Shots fired back. All right, we got to go. For Tim, for Paulie, I'm Steve. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. We'll see you Monday.